There is so much hatred in the world. Many people banding together based on group identification. Our fear of one another is so heightened that we lack the awareness to listen and ultimately understand one another. Our personal view of life, based on our own beliefs and agendas, is the only perspective of life. Our personal narrative is the narrative. It has always been this way. Our hatred and fear towards each other are nothing new. It's an old game we are all duped into playing. A game based on a lie caused by a lack of understanding about who we truly are and what the world really is. Our perception of the world is clouded, and we're unable to see the world as it truly is. Division and conflict is the result when we are literally blind to the truth. The fabric of society is built on the foundation that separation is true. But is separation really true? Or is separation the heart of a tired old game that is the root cause of all the problems in the world? If our mentality of separation is true, then why does it only cause conflict? These are the questions we need to be asking. This is the adult conversation we need to have. To explore these questions deeper, we need to understand what fuels division and group identification. That which fuels both is personal identity. An inquiry into the nature of identity is not new. It is the core philosophy of the three main spiritual traditions of the East, namely Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism. It is also the focus of such philosophers as the late Jiddu Krishnamurti, who dedicated his life to understanding the human condition, similar to the quest of the Buddha. This Eastern view of exploring the validity of the individual is in stark contrast to the focus on individualism in the West, which has slowly but surely engulfed the entire world. Have we traveled in the wrong direction? This vast topic needs an entire volume to explore. Here I will focus on a few specific areas to illustrate how problems in the world are not external, but rather inherent problems of the human condition. To consider that identity is the cause of all the world's problems, we must first understand that knowledge itself, the knowledge we all think we possess, is limited. Knowledge is limited because we all perceive the world subjectively, influenced from birth by our culture, religion, race, gender, nation, family, etc. Each grouping trains us on an individual level to identify with the group, defining who you are, but these are only superficial identifications. The group wants you to see as they see and think as they think. Identifying with a group doesn't allow the possibility of you knowing who you truly are because you're a bundle of external conditioning based on group beliefs. This conditioning trains us to perceive the world with biases that eclipse the true nature of the world. As a result, thinking becomes divisive because it cuts the world up to suit our conditioned identity. Conflict can only result from such limited views. The limitation of knowledge creates conflict not because we've identified with a group, that is only the effect, but instead because the cause of conflict is our tendency to seek security. Our perspective of security is warped and the seed of much conflict in the world. When will we learn this lesson? This wisdom has been with us for thousands of years, but we feel more comfortable in the apparent security we've built for ourselves individually, giving us an illusory feeling of security within group mentality. Ironically, this is far from secure, and in actuality the cause of conflict. How much violence, hatred, and bloodshed will it take for us to understand that superficial boundaries don't exist, never have, and never will? As the human species evolved, we were naturally part of certain groups due to the nature of biological evolution. As we started to develop culture, it was a safe bet to identify with a group to ensure our individual survival, which was then eventually superimposed onto the survival of our beliefs and the beliefs we have about ourselves and the groups we feel we belong. This tendency for survival no longer serves a lot of the world, where our basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter are taken care of. But this yearning for security is the seed of conflict and basically holds us back from seeing the full picture. It is a limited view of the world. The common belief is we find security in the family, tribe, nation, race, gender, etc. We believe security is in division. If we identify with a certain group, this will ensure our safety and propagate our limited knowledge. Do you see the inherent flaw in this common perspective? The division itself creates insecurity. Our identification with the group creates insecurity. All battles are waged based on the illusory belief that division ensures security. We've drawn a line in the sand. This is who I am and what I believe. But the division itself is limited. Anything that is limited must inevitably create conflict. This cuts to the heart of the individual. For example, if I say I am an individual, it is limited. I'm only concerned with myself, which is limited. I am only concerned about the way I see the world according to my beliefs and conditioning, which are intrinsically divisional. The me, I, my is a divisive entity. Our yearning for security ironically creates an identity that is fundamentally insecure. Do you see the irony? All of the injustice and also the reactions to injustice in the world comes from the limited individual. One who hasn't thought about this does not consider the world as a whole. One who doesn't consider oneself as the world instead views themselves as part of it, divided from other parts that conflict with their limited view. We're mainly concerned about our superficial differences, no matter whether they are religious, cultural, racial, sexual, national, etc. We're not focused on the human condition and the root cause of division. A thorough understanding of the human condition dissolves all illusory dividers and boundaries. Our apparent differences are small in comparison to our intrinsic similarities, which are vast. Sadly, most people cling to their superficial differences. Our superficial differences are an act of division, a way of isolating ourselves from the rest of the world as if our identity is real. According to Jiddu Krishnamurti, this act of separation is violence. When you call yourself an Indian or a Muslim or a Christian or a European or anything else, you are being violent. Do you see why it is violent? Because you are separating yourself from the rest of mankind. When you separate yourself by belief, by nationality, by tradition, it breeds violence. So a man who is seeking to understand violence does not belong to any country, to any religion, to any political party or partial system. He is concerned with the total understanding of mankind. That act of separation is the cause of all conflict. When I say I naturally create conflict with you because the I believe I am is limited, and likewise you are also limited. Our limitations can only breed conflict because we have separated ourselves from the whole of humanity. To truthfully understand this fact, we have to admit that we are limited as an individual. In the Eastern spiritual traditions, there is no I without the world because the I doesn't exist. The I is a divisive entity that sustains its illusory existence through insecurity, causing conflict as long as it survives. We need to inquire into the nature of the identity we all believe we are. This identity is fundamentally conditioned, and any form of conditioning is limited. The questions we need to ask are, what is beneath all this conditioning? What is the real essence of our being? This has nothing to do with spirituality, but rather the fundamental basis of our mind, minus the divisional accumulative identity. The Eastern spiritual traditions have primarily focused on the nature of the mind and consciousness itself. For thousands of years, the conclusion was that the doer of actions and the thinker of thoughts causes all the trouble in the world. The belief in I can only cause conflict. This I identity, with all of its beliefs, agendas, bias, and prejudice, is an illusion. It is an accumulative social construct, only useful as a public utility. That's the only use it has. When we explore the nature of our mind, we discover that its contents are polluted with learned beliefs about a sense of self we are supposed to be, and a body we are supposed to identify with, as if it's permanent and lasting. What happens when we explore these beliefs? We realize they were all built on our insecurity and inculcated within us from other people suffering the same affliction. Real security, then, is not found in identification with division, but rather found in the sense of unity we feel within, with no divisional boundaries. This state of unity is our natural state of mind that we have covered over with the illusion of separation. To know yourself truthfully is a shedding process, a process of inquiry into the limited divisional falseness of identity. The more we go through this process, the more we see the world as it truly is from the unpolluted mind. Our original state of mind is not divided. It has no opinions, agendas, beliefs, or bias. Our original state of mind is a feeling of unity where we truly understand that separate minds don't exist. They don't exist because the fundamental consciousness within you is the same as in me, a state of oneness. The contents of mind eclipse pure consciousness. And pure consciousness is one consciousness, our sole true identity. As we live and are conditioned, our awareness becomes stained and we identify with a localization of consciousness that we refer to as I, the limited individual. We are identified with the equipment we possess on a local awareness level. What I mean by equipment is we identify with the contents of the mind, the sense of self we have accumulated, as well as the impermanent body. Identifying with the equipment of the localization of consciousness keeps your awareness from knowing its true source. Identifying with the localization of consciousness can only perceive a reality of duality, as its existence is built on separation from its source, and consequentially everything and everyone else in existence. But the power and influence our limited identity has on us, on a local awareness level, can be overturned if we dissolve I to re-identify with the one undifferentiated consciousness. When the local subjective awareness merges with its own source, meaning when the subtlest form, the subtlest contraction of the I thought collapses, there is only space and you can't locate yourself anymore. You know that in truth you are everywhere. Your local awareness was only scattered because of a wrong identification with the equipment of a limited individual. Conventionally, you are still a person interacting with other persons, but what you know is you are everywhere, with no sense of I to claim the experience. We are like a wave that forgot it is the ocean. The wave was always the ocean. The form of the wave is at the local level, and the essence of the wave, being the ocean, is everywhere. From this state of consciousness, you see the world as it truly is, because you are not limited anymore. There is no conflict in that place, because there is no such thing as opposition, no concept of separation. In that place, there is no religion, race, nation, gender, or any apparent division. There is only love, because hatred only exists when we believe we are an individual separated from everything and everyone else. When there is no identity, there is no conflict. Conflict only exists if we fall for the illusion of separation and act from our divisional perception of the world. From undifferentiated consciousness, there can only ever be unconditional love, because in reality, there is no other.